I'm about to tell you something that is so disgustingly different from all of the things that you've ever heard in your entire life. I'm about to open your mind to a new way of viewing goals, a new way of viewing accomplishment or achievement. And trust me, this isn't going to be something that you've heard anywhere. There is this narrative that's purported that making money has a large degree of luck. I'm sure you've heard it. I'm sure you've heard it. You know, a lot of even rich people say, like, my first $100,000 was lucky. My first $1,000,000 was all lucky. And then you hear broke people say it as well. You know, he's rich because he was lucky. Now, what if I told you that under the universal laws, that every input has a direct output? Okay, I mean, that may not hold too much weight, but what if I told you, what if I give you examples that allowed you to visualize exactly what I mean? So then I'll kind of get into the point. The big thing is, if I make $10,000 a month, right, and I spend $10,001, I lose money, right? Now, let's say I make $10,000 a month and I spend $9,999. Well, I save money. Let's say my maintenance calories is 1,000 and I eat 1,001 and I gain weight. Let's say it's 1,000 and I eat 999. Well, I lose weight. Now let's say let's switch it up a little bit. Let's look at direct outcomes, like the only possibility. Let's say I go to the gym, okay, and I lift heavy weight. Let's take into account we are doing this professionally, and not necessarily professionally, but let's say we're doing this sophisticatedly, where, you know, we're not going to hurt ourselves. What is the only outcome? If I go to the gym, I get stronger, right? Let's say I run a mile every day. What's the only outcome? Well, there's a couple outcomes, but what are the primary outcomes? One, I'm going to burn calories, right? And two, I'm going to condition myself to be able to run longer. So the things you do, every circumstance in this entire world, if I buy a black shirt, if I spend my $10 on this black shirt, what's the only outcome? I now own a $10 shirt. Okay, let's say I put the shirt on. The action was putting the shirt on. The outcome is I'm now wearing a black shirt. I really have a hard time looking at the world and seeing any degree of luck. I really do. I mean, I look at the world and I say, okay, this person's input is their output. This person started doing cocaine, so he got addicted to it, right? I mean, I don't think luck plays a large factor in anything. And so when we look at a concept like topic of the video, making $10,000 per month is a buzzword, right? Everybody wants to make $10,000 per month. But did you realize, or do you now realize, that there is a formula that, if put in place, equals $10,000 per month? Here's another one. Any mathematical formula that you could possibly think of. You have the input, which are the main numbers, and then you have the equation's answer, right? 1 + 1, for an example. What do you get no matter what 100% of the time? You get 2, okay? But this is recently brought up to me by my girlfriend. I was like, what's the only possible way that you could get to the number 2? It's by adding 1 + 1. She said, well, you could do 0.5 plus 0.5 plus 0.5 plus 0.5. And then you could break that down even more. And I was like, okay, you're right. You're right. There are multiple ways you can get to 2, but the most efficient way is 1 + 1 or 2 + 0, right? So there are 1.5 million ways to get to 2, but then there's only 2 ways to get to 2 that actually make sense, that actually are efficient and productive, right? So we look at making $10,000 a month online, or let's say making $10,000 a month. Then we kind of reconstruct the idea of there's 1.5 million ways that you could do this. Okay, so would we want to do something physical? It's like, okay, that would work. But if we look in the grand scheme of things, where the world is kind of turning, is doing something physically labor intensive, does that make the most sense? Not really. Okay, so then something online, yes. Cool. So then when we extrapolate on this, we say, well, how fast do I want to make this $10,000 a month? It's like, if I'm willing to wait 5 years, then I can do real estate. If I want to make $10,000 a month in the next 30 days, well, I guess you have to ask you have to find where your baseline is, like what kind of knowledge do you have? Because let's say we extrapolate this on any business in the world, right? Every single business, in order to get to $10,000 a month, has its own systems inside of it. And then when you do those systems, you get the output. So I'm going to throw out two entirely different business models. And I'm going to show you exactly how to get to $10,000 a month, just based off systems, right? So let's say I want to start a lawn mowing business. Okay, very easy. So what are the things that I need to do in order to get to that? Well, I need a certain amount of clients, and I need to know how much I'm charging per lawn, okay? But realistically, I need clients, and I need a lawnmower. So first and foremost, I'm going to buy a lawnmower. If I don't have one and I can't afford one, I'm going to work a job until I can afford one, because regardless, that's a part of the system, right? Cannot do it without a lawnmower. Or you can borrow your friend's lawnmower or something. But let's make this easy. You work your job, and then you go ahead and you buy yourself a lawnmower, or you use your friend's lawnmower. It doesn't matter. You need clients. What's the only way to get clients that makes the most sense for this type of business? Okay, well, you can run paid advertisements, but that's a little bit difficult. You need to learn how to do that. Or you can hire an agency, but frankly, you don't have enough money to hire an agency to run the ads for you, and you don't know anything about online marketing. Okay, but that doesn't mean you can't follow the system. You may not know anything about calculus, but it doesn't mean that you don't know how to add 1 + 1, right? So let's extrapolate this. Let's say, okay, I can print out hundreds and hundreds of thousands of flyers, right? And I can put, or let's not say hundreds of thousands, let's say thousands of flyers, and I can put them on every single door. Okay, I don't think people understand the power of these flyers, right? Everybody needs their lawn mowed, and especially if you have a really strong competitive advantage. Let's say your rates are just incredibly low, or let's say you add on a trimming around the yard, or you add in, a bush trimming or window cleaning or something. You give yourself a really strong competitive edge that just gets people to work with you instead of any of the competitors. So then now you have people calling you, right? So then you go and you mow their lawns. And now you have more appointments than you can handle yourself. And so you give your friend, a couple $100, and then he starts doing some of the extra lawns. And now you build your way up to a $10,000 a month business. All right. There was a direct input, right? I needed a lawnmower and I needed clients. So I printed PDFs or flyers, and I went and hung them on people's doors. So now let's say like any kind of agency-based model. Let's say video editing, okay? I don't even have experience in video editing, but there's only two things that you need to do in this entire business to succeed. You need one, to know how to edit videos very well, and then two, you need clients. So first and foremost, you're gonna learn how to become the best video editor that there's ever been. You don't even need to be the best, you just need to be pretty good. So then what you're gonna do, and to do that, you just watch YouTube videos, buy courses, buy programs, right? It's very simple. So then once you understand how to video edit, you need clients. What's the only way to do that? Well, you could go through a digital marketing agency, or you could just, for 5 hours a day, do outreach to YouTubers who need video editors, right? You don't think that you got to understand that, like when it comes to video editing specifically, you're not going to target people that are lawnmowers. You're not going to target people that are working their day-to-day jobs, right? You're going to target people that are YouTubers or Instagram, creators or TikTok. Why? Well, it's because the fundamentals, the only way for that person to be successful on YouTube is because he has video editors. So it means he absolutely needs you, which means if you're the best video editor, he'll fire anybody who's on his current team and hire you, because you're better than them. And in order for his channel to succeed, he needs you. He literally needs you, right? So it gives you a really strong competitive edge. So when you look at the idea of making $10,000 a month, I don't believe or agree with the fact that some people say that it needs to be done, with a little bit of luck. I think if you extrapolate the goal into systems, and then you understand fundamentally that 1 + 1 always equals 2, then you can scale yourself to anywhere that you want to be. We started my main YouTube channel. I started posting on it again. I'll probably hit a large number of subscribers in the next year, not because of any luck, because the content that we're creating is going through a lot of reiterations to make sure that it's perfect, and that each piece of content is getting better and better year over year, or video over video. And then we're making sure that all the things that we're doing that are in relation to YouTube are correct, which means that will be my outcome, is a large number of subscribers. People will start to enjoy the content and they'll pick up, right? There's no luck, and making $10,000 per month absolutely has a formula. And I think once you understand this is when you have a massive paradigm shift in the way that you view the world, or the level of confidence that you have when you try anything, right? Whether it's learning a new skill. For an example, if you just want to learn how to skateboard, there's an input and an output. Watch videos, learn, educate yourself, hop on the board, fail, try again, hop on the board, fail, try again. It's a rinse and repeat cycle, and then you get good at skateboarding. Everything in this world has an absolute formula, and once you understand that, the world is absolutely at your disposal for any achievement or accomplishment that you want to, reach. But other than that, making $10,000 a month making $10,000 per month absolutely has a formula. There's no degree of luck. And I'll see you guys in the next video.